This is a model of the Liebherr R920 compact excavator by Conrad Models. And looking at the end of the model box, it's model number 2206. No, it's not. Don't tell lies. Actually, this box has a sticker on it and it's model number 2209. And that's because this model is different, it has a two-piece boom. So I'm glad we've got that misunderstanding out of the way. And in terms of packaging, it's the usual Conrad style. There's a model and there's also a bag with a couple of parts. For the assembly, there's just one part to fit, and that's a mirror onto a grab rail. It presses on and... what the hell, it's tried to escape! After we give it some discipline, we try it again, and this time it stays on the grab rail. Cranes Etc. has made over 1,000 reviews and reports, so if you like what we do, please support us and help us continue by making a pledge via Patreon. The link is on the screen and in the video description. And in return for your support, you can get various rewards, including news, early access, discounts, and other benefits. And know that your support will keep us going. Looking underneath, things are fairly simple, with the modelling more aimed at functionality than detail. But right side up, the metal tracks are typically robust. And they're mounted on decent track frames, but they don't have working rollers. The blade is strong and the colour match on the hydraulics is very good. The grab rails on the cab are plastic, but a nice looking detail are the individual window seals, and the door handle is there too. The interior of the cab is nicely detailed. At the back there are warning graphics and painted lights, and the Liebherr name is nicely embossed and painted. The rear video camera is also modelled. The grille is represented by textured graphics, and moving up on top, the detailing is very nice, with the hydraulics in particular being very detailed. There are nice soft hoses and there are also pipes. This version of the model is also nice because there are two buckets provided, and they are both nice castings. So let's get down to the features of the model. And we start with the crawler tracks, which have too much friction to roll on a smooth surface, but you can roll them by hand nicely enough. Ha 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 ha. The blade can be lowered where it also acts as a stabiliser, and in fact the angle of the blade can be set really low. As you can see, the hydraulics are stiff enough to support the model, and if you don't want to push things about, you can raise the blade. The model engineering is always good with Conrad, and we see that in the rotation of the model, which is very smooth, and it's very steady with no rocking about. The difference on this model compared to the first version is that it's got a two-piece boom as well as the stick, and the range of movement at all the joints seems very good. In particular, the bucket has a full range of movement. So you can adopt pretty much any pose that you want, and the stiffness of the hydraulics means that the pose will always be held. To test the ability to dig deep, we've set up the special test rig, and the model performs very well with a convincing depth of dig. One thing this excavator model has, and really all excavator models should have it, is a removable bucket. It has a kind of a quick fix coupler, so you can just pull the bucket off. And this model is nice and flexible because they give you a second bucket to use. And this one is a ditching bucket. To fit it, you just hook it over at one end and then clip it onto the coupler. And this bucket is also nice because it's got an adjustable angle. There's also one other teeny tiny feature, and that's the aerial on the cab, which can be raised for when you're working and lowered to reduce the headroom for transport. And speaking of transport, here it comes, and what a fail that is. Let's try that again with a more professional driver, and for quick loading we'll use the giant hand crane. On it goes, complete with the extra bucket, and we're ready to roll. This is another very nice Liebherr excavator model by Conrad. As always, you get robustness and very solid model engineering. And this model has also got a very nice level of detailing. The extra bucket gives it flexibility, and overall the model's easy to rate as very good.